Hey everybody, it's Casey, and I am here to give you another DC update. The last time I made a video, I clued y'all in about some of the stuff that had happened at the beginning of March, and March is almost over, so I have a lot to cover, and I won't be able to cover everything that I've done since the last video in this one, but I'm going to cover a few of the things and just make, a bunch more to cover whatever else I've done, because we've just been going 90 miles an hour since we've been here, and all the warm weather has come. It's fabulous. Yet we still had snow on Sunday, but more about that later. Anyways, so I'm going to start off with the Rock and Roll Hotel. My friend Jessica and I had, when we had gone to an event at the Kennedy Center, we asked one of the tech guys if he knew where some great places were to hear music, live music, and so he mentioned a couple of places, and the Rock and Roll Hotel was one of these places. It's not actually a hotel. It is a kind of, it's like a bar slash music venue where you can go, and it's got 2 levels. It's on 8th Street. And so we went out there on a Friday night, and we bought tickets online, but you can buy tickets at the door, but the odds are of them being sold out, I think, are sometimes fairly high, depending on who's coming to play. So we just decided to buy tickets online. And so you go in there, and it's got 2 floors, and like I said, the bottom has where you can listen to the music. It's got a bar in there, and it's got a stage. And if you go upstairs, it's got a bar, and it's got like lounge areas. And upstairs they were playing these ridiculous games where they would do like spelling bees, and as the night goes on, if you miss how to spell something, you have to take another drink or something like that. And so obviously you know how that goes. But the night we went, there were 4 bands playing, and I cannot remember all the names for the life of me of what these bands were, but they were supposed to be local, and so went and watched them. 3 of them were actually really good. The first one we saw, we kind of, I think, liked the best. They were kind of, I guess, what we really liked as far as like style-wise. It was a little more rock. And then the one that a lot of people came to see were the oh gosh, the Honey Guns, and it was a really interesting mix of a group. It had this African American man that was tall, skinny, but he just definitely thought he was the next Michael Jackson. He's doing a lot of like hip shaking and stuff like that, and but he was great. Like, he was so entertaining to watch. And another guy that was the bass. He looked to be like in his 30s. He had like really curly hair or whatever, and the other guy was he had on like a like a vest or whatever, kind of a bigger guy, but he could play the guitar. And the drummer he honestly looked like he was like I don't even know how to describe it, but he had on like a white tank top and tattoos all over him. So these guys are all just like interesting characters. And but they were great though, and it was almost like a soft rock kind of a thing, and everybody was into it. And so that was a really fun event that we went to. We didn't know anything about it, never had heard anything from anybody else, so we didn't know what we were in for, but it was a really cool night. And I think that if we had the time, we would definitely go back. So there's that. The next thing we did, the next day, we went to the Natural History Museum. Still trying to get in all of our Smithsonian museums while we're here in DC as much as possible. And the Natural History Museum is known for having the Hope Diamond. And so that's kind of, I guess, what a lot of people go there to see. But they have like a lot of they had like huge elephants, and they had they had like a whole ocean section where they had a huge giant squid that they had stretched out, and you could go and look at it. And they even had like a whole coral reef section that was made it was all out of like crochet. People had like crocheted all these like coral reef things, and they made it into this one huge display that you could go and see. It was really fascinating for somebody who's crocheted. I know how hard that is, and that was like wild. The other thing they had was they had the human evolution exhibit, which I know a lot of people think is really controversial, but it is really interesting. I had taken anthropology in undergrad, And so that was kind of cool. A lot of things were coming back to me as I was walking through that exhibit. And so, you know, even if you have some issues with that, I think it is an interesting exhibit to see. So there's that. So we had a lot of fun in there. It was just so packed though, because I think it was like everybody's spring break and it was a beautiful weather. So everybody was out that day on the mall. So, I mean, there was no way to avoid the crowds. There were just so many kids. But other than that, it was a really cool museum. The day after that, this was coming up on St. Patrick's Day that week, which was, I guess that was the week before last. And so I didn't realize that DC does all of their festivities for St. Patrick's Day the weekend before. I guess I should have thought about that. I guess everybody was doing that, but it just didn't occur to me that that would be happening, and it did. And I was like getting on the metro, and there were all these people decked out in all their St. Patrick's Day stuff, you know, with the hats, the shamrock necklaces, and they were all headed down to the amphitheater, which is down past Eastern Market. I don't know, it's way out there. I don't even know what direction they're actually going in. But so then it finally occurred to me, I was like, oh, they're like, yeah, they're doing all kinds of St. Patrick's Day stuff, aren't they? And so then on Sunday, I was out walking. I was coming from church, and all of a sudden I see just like, you know, hundreds of people, you know, like wearing green, you know, running. And I'm like, what is going on? And I started walking up there, and it was the 8K Shamrock Run. I had no idea that they were even doing that. And so at one point I had to cross the road. And so like I'm like running with the people because there's no way that you can get through there without like running with them. So I kind of ran with them for a couple of blocks, which was really funny. I mean, what do you do in that situation? You definitely have to run. But it was really cool because, oh, that's my phone. Anyways, every 2 or 3 blocks, they had bagpipers just out there playing their music, piping you to the end of the race. It was so wild. It was such a wild thing to see. So that was a fun little thing that was going on. And then later on that day, I was still walking around the mall and everything. Great weather, as I said before, and they're getting ready for the St. Patrick's Day parade. And I was like, wow, this is like so cool. Like they had, oh my gosh, they had a lot of the Air Force and like a lot of what is it? I'm sorry, I'm blanking here. The Irish step dancers. They had all these little girls. Oh, they were so cute. They had on all their little Irish step dance costumes, and their hair, you know, the fake hair was curled. And they were out there, you know, doing their thing, and saw a guy with these great pants on. I took a picture and put it on Facebook, had little shamrocks all over it, more bagpipers. And this was a huge parade. Like, this is the biggest parade I've seen since I've been here. A lot of people were sitting on the steps of the National Archives, and they were all up and down Constitution, and so sat there and watched it all go through. They even had people like in rowboats. I mean, they were on like a float, but they were like acting like they were rowing. I mean, it was anything that they could throw in there, they were doing it. Like, you know, kind of like exotic cars with like St. Patrick's Day, like garland all over it. They had some kind of an Asian group come through. They were dressed in bright yellow. I'm just dropping stuff. Sorry, guys. My room is an absolute wreck right now. You can't tell because it's all like right here in front of me and around me. But they had like I was saying, they were wearing bright yellow, and they had drums, and they were just going down there, tons of marching bands. So they go all out for St. Patrick's Day. And so I was really surprised and impressed, and I was so glad that I stumbled upon that. I would have never known had I not, like, you know, ventured out that Sunday. I would have missed all of that. So it was cool. So lots of it. Oh, wow. I'm already looking at this. It's almost 9.5 minutes. Sorry, guys. I need to be getting to work anyways, and I've made this an extremely long video, so I'm going to cut it here and wish y'all all a wonderful Tuesday, because it is March 29th here. So yeah, I'm going to have to do a whole lot more catching up for y'all on some other videos, but have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all soon. Bye!